Stop scrolling. Please just stop for a second. I have been waiting for you to slow down all day. I know how heavy your chest feels right now. You are exhausted, not just the kind of tired that a good night of sleep can fix. You are deeply soul-tired. You have been running on empty trying to keep all the plates spinning. The bills, the job, the expectations, the constant pressure to just be okay when you are completely falling apart inside. I see you calculating the numbers in your head at 3 in the morning. I see the invisible weight of the American dream turning into a relentless cycle of survival. You wake up, you hustle, you pay the invoices, you smile at people who do not even know you, and you come home feeling completely drained. You wonder if this is all there is. You wonder why you are working so hard and still feeling like you are falling behind. My beloved child, I am pleading with you to listen to my voice this very second. You were never meant to carry this much weight. You have bought into the lie that you have to figure it all out on your own. You think that if you just work a little harder, if you just sacrifice a little more of your peace, you will finally reach that place of security. But the truth is, you are trying to do my job, and it is breaking you. I have watched you grip the steering wheel so tightly your knuckles turn white. I have watched you stare at your phone screen waiting for a breakthrough that seems like it is never going to come. I am here right now to tell you to breathe. Take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. I am stepping in. I have been standing right beside you, waiting for you to stop fighting this battle by yourself. You feel like I have been silent, but I have not been silent. I have been waiting. I have been waiting for you to reach the end of your own strength, so you could finally lean on mine. The culture you live in tells you to grind, to hustle, to never stop pushing. But my kingdom operates on rest. But it operates on trust. I know the exact amount of money in your bank account. I know the exact deadline you are facing. I know the names of the people who have disappointed you, and the doors that have slammed in your face. None of this is a surprise to heaven. I am pleading with you to give me your panic right now. Hand me the anxiety about your future. Hand me the fear of not being enough. You are so worried about tomorrow that you are missing the grace I have provided for you today. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you truly felt safe? Not just financially secure, but deeply, spiritually safe. That is what I am offering you this very second. Do not rush away from this moment. The enemy wants you to swipe away, to get distracted by another video, to numb your mind so you do not have to deal with the pain. But I am asking you to stay. I am drawing a line in the sand for your life today. The season of exhausting yourself for things that do not satisfy is coming to an end. I am about to shift the foundation of your life, but you have to let go of the control. You have to admit that your way is not working. The heavy yoke you are wearing was manufactured by the world, not by me. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. I want to replace your striving with my peace. I want to replace your endless calculations with my miraculous provision. I see you walking down the grocery aisles, silently keeping a tally in your head, stressed over the rising prices of everything. I see the notifications on your phone, the reminders of debts and obligations that seem to multiply while your income stays the same. You live in a society that measures your worth by your output, by your job title, by what you can produce. But I do not look at you and see a worker. I look at you and see my beloved child. You are living in a neighborhood surrounded by people, yet you feel completely isolated. You drive down the freeway surrounded by thousands of cars, but inside your own vehicle, you feel like an island. You have perfected the art of the fake smile. When people ask how you are doing, you say you are fine. You say you are just busy. But I know the truth. I know that when you finally close your bedroom door at night, the silence is deafening. The anxiety creeps in like a thick fog. You replay every conversation, every mistake, every missed opportunity. You are so hard on yourself. You judge yourself by a standard of perfection that I never placed on you. I am pleading with you to listen to me right now, because your mind has become a battlefield. The enemy is planting lies in your head, telling you that your best days are behind you, telling you that you missed your chance, telling you that you will always be struggling like this. I command those lies to be broken right now in the name of Jesus. You are not a failure. You are simply in the middle of the story, and you are trying to read the final chapter before it is written. The pressure you are feeling is not the weight of a tombstone crushing you. It is the pressure of a seed breaking open in the dark soil. You are about to break through the surface. But to do that, we have to deal with the illusion of control. You have been carrying a specific burden that I have explicitly asked you to put down. In just a moment, I am going to name that burden for you. And when I do, I want you to mentally hand it over to me, because the miracle you are waiting for is trapped underneath your refusal to let go. Do not turn away, because what I am going to reveal next is the key to unlocking the peace you have been begging me for. The burden I am asking you to put down right now is the illusion of control. Listen to me very carefully. You have convinced yourself that if you just manage everything perfectly, if you just plan for every single worst-case scenario, you will finally feel safe. But you and I both know that safety never comes. You have bought into a hustle culture that screams you must grind 24 hours a day and 7 days a week to be worthy. You are working 50, 60, maybe even 70 hours a week, absolutely terrified that if you slow down for even a moment, you will lose your spot. You are scared that someone younger, someone faster, or someone cheaper is going to replace you. So you keep running on this endless corporate treadmill, sacrificing your health, your peace, and your family time for a company that would replace you in a heartbeat. I did not create you to be a machine. I created you to be a human being, a beloved child of the Most High. I see you sitting at the kitchen table, looking at the mortgage, looking at the grocery bills that have doubled, looking at the credit card statements that keep growing, despite how hard you work. You are trying to math your way out of a spiritual deficit. You are calculating interest rates and retirement funds, letting the anxiety of inflation steal your joy for today. You are leaning entirely on your own understanding. My word has always told you to trust in me with all your heart, but right now, you are trusting your spreadsheets and your emergency backup plans more than you trust the creator of the universe. And look at what it is doing to you. It is making you physically sick. I feel the knots in your stomach. I feel the tension you carry in your neck and shoulders. I see how you wake up with a racing heart before the sun even rises, instantly overwhelmed by a massive list of tasks. You are holding onto a rope that is literally burning your hands, and you are terrified to let go because you falsely believe you are the only one holding your entire life together. You are not holding it together. I am. The moment you realize that, the heavy weight on your chest will dissolve. I need you to understand that the world rewards exhaustion, but heaven rewards surrender. You have been fighting so hard for things I never meant for you to have. Let me tell you a secret about the door that just slammed shut in your face. I know you cried over that lost opportunity. You spent weeks praying for that specific job, that promotion, that specific financial breakthrough, and when it fell through, you felt completely abandoned by me. You thought it was a rejection. You thought you were not good enough, but it was a divine rescue. You could not see the toxic environment, the impossible demands, and the absolute physical burnout waiting for you on the other side of that door. I had to lock it. I had to stand in your way to protect the beautiful destiny I have actually prepared for you. Sometimes my protection looks like rejection. I am asking you to trust my delays. I am asking you to stop trying to be the author of your own story when you only have a finite view of the few chapters ahead. I have the entire manuscript. Every single time you try to force an outcome, every time you try to manipulate a situation to work in your favor, you are stepping out of this famided, my grace, and stepping into your own limited, fragile strength. No wonder you are so tired. You are trying to carry the weight of a world you did not create. I want you to mentally hand me the keys to your career right now. Hand me the crippling anxiety over your financial security. The current economy does not dictate your provision. I do. Wall Street does not hold your future. I do. You are so consumed by the fear of losing what you have built that you are completely missing the massive abundance I want to pour into your open hands. But your hands are too clenched right now to receive anything new. Open them. Let go of the desperate need to know how every single detail is going to work out. I am your ultimate provider. I am your ultimate shield. But your constant worrying is putting up a massive wall that is blocking the very blessings you have been crying out for. You are a master at pretending. You really are. You think you are hiding this overwhelming, suffocating stress so well from your family, from your friends, and from your coworkers. You put on your professional attire, you walk into that office building, or you log on to your virtual meetings, and you act like you have it all completely together. You are the strong one, the one everyone else relies on for answers. But the facade is cracking, and you know it. I know exactly what happens the moment the performance ends. I know what happens the moment you leave that building and get into your vehicle. In just a few minutes, I am going to reveal exactly what I saw you do in the dark isolation of your car. And more importantly, I am going to show you the specific person I have already placed on your path to help you. A person you will completely miss if you keep staring into the rearview mirror of your past mistakes. Keep listening, because your rescue is closer than you think. I told you I saw what happens when the performance ends. I saw you get into your car after a long day of pretending everything is perfectly fine. You closed the car door, the heavy metal shut out the noise of the world, and you completely broke down. You gripped the steering wheel and let the tears fall. You thought you were entirely alone in that parking garage. You thought you were entirely alone on that crowded interstate, surrounded by thousands of glowing headlights, driving back to a house that somehow feels incredibly empty, even when there are people inside it. I know about the times you pull into your own driveway and just sit there in the dark with the engine turned off. You sit there because you are trying to gather enough energy to put the mask back on before you walk through the front door. You do not want anyone to worry. You do not want to be a burden. So you carry this crushing isolation all by yourself. My child, the deepest kind of loneliness is not being physically by yourself. The deepest loneliness is being surrounded by people every single day and feeling like not a single one of them truly sees you. You live in a culture that worships extreme independence. You are taught to never show weakness, to handle your own baggage, to fix your own problems. So when the heavy seasons come, you shrink back. You isolate. You convince yourself that your struggles are too dark for anyone else to understand. You scroll through endless feeds of other people living their seemingly perfect lives, and it only makes the quiet corners of your reality feel darker. You feel like a ghost in your own life. But you have never been invisible to me, not for a single second. When you were crying in that car, feeling like your heart was literally breaking under the pressure, I was sitting right there next to you. My word promises that I am close to the brokenhearted, and I save those who are crushed in spirit. That is not just some poetic metaphor meant to make you feel better. It is a literal, spiritual reality. I was close enough to catch every single tear that fell onto your lap. You have built such heavy armor to survive this harsh world. You had to. People have betrayed you. People have taken advantage of your kindness and left you picking up the pieces. So you built massive walls to keep the pain out. But those same walls are currently keeping the healing out. I am asking you to let me gently dismantle that armor right now. You do not have to be the strong one today. You do not have to have all the right answers. Just for this moment, I want you to completely fall apart in my presence. Let the grief out. Let the massive disappointment out. Stop apologizing to me for feeling overwhelmed. Your tears do not offend me. Your honest, messy pain does not push me away. In fact, it draws me closer. I am the God who sits with you on the bathroom floor when the silent panic attacks hit. I am the God who whispers peace into your mind when the heavy insomnia keeps you awake at 2 in the morning. I know exactly how much courage it took for you to simply get out of bed and show up today. I see the absolute exhaustion in your eyes when you look in the mirror. Do you know why I am bringing all of this up right now? Because your deep isolation is a deliberate strategy of the enemy. If he can keep you feeling isolated, he can keep you feeling defeated. He wants you to believe that nobody understands your specific pain, which makes you pull further and further away from the very community and the very blessings I am trying to send you. I am breaking that dark spirit of heavy isolation off your life today. I am breathing fresh, warm life into those cold, empty spaces in your chest. Listen to me carefully. You are fully known, and you are fiercely loved. The version of you that is tired, broken, and full of doubts is still entirely worthy of my grace. Now, I promise to tell you about the person and the opportunity I have placed on your path. I have already arranged a divine connection for you. I have placed someone on your route who will speak life into your current situation. I have orchestrated an opportunity that will shift the trajectory of your entire year. They are waiting for you right up ahead. But here is the critical warning. You will completely miss them if you keep driving through life while staring entirely into the rearview mirror. You are so fixated on the people who left you, the years you think you wasted, and the financial mistakes of your past, that you are totally blind to the beautiful windshield in front of you. You have been asking me in your silent prayers why it is taking so long for your life to change. You look around and it seems like everyone else is moving forward. They are buying houses, getting promoted, finding love, building families, while you feel stuck in the exact same spot. You feel completely forgotten by heaven, but I have not forgotten you, not even for a moment. The delay you are experiencing right now is not a punishment. It is a divine preparation. In the next few moments, I am going to show you exactly why your waiting season has lasted this long. I am going to show you the massive blueprint I am building for your life, and why your specific foundation requires so much more time than the people you are constantly comparing yourself to. Do not stop listening now, because I am about to set you entirely free from the heavy chain of comparison and the fear of being left behind. I see you sitting on the edge of your bed late at night. The room is completely dark except for the cold artificial light of your screen illuminating your tired face. You are scrolling endlessly through the highlight reels of everyone else. You see the constant announcements. Someone you went to school with just bought a beautiful home in a nice neighborhood. A coworker just got the massive promotion you have been working so hard for. You see the engagement rings, the perfect vacations, the new vehicles, and the smiling families. And with every single picture you swipe past, a heavy, sinking feeling grows in the pit of your stomach. You quickly lock your screen, toss the device onto your nightstand, and stare up at the ceiling. In that painful, suffocating silence, you ask me a desperate question. You ask why you are still stuck at the starting line. You ask if I have somehow skipped over you. You look at your age, you look at your bank account, and you feel a massive wave of panic because society tells you that by this stage in your life, you should have it all figured out. You watch people who seem to put in half the effort you do, yet they reap double the rewards. It feels incredibly unfair. You have played by all the rules. You have worked the late shifts, paid your bills, helped your neighbors, and tried your best to be a good person. Yet you are the one staring at a balance that barely covers the basic necessities. You feel like you are rapidly running out of time. My beloved child, please listen to my voice, and let these words sink deep into your weary spirit. You have not been forgotten. You have not been left behind. You are suffering from the heavy poison of comparison. You are measuring your incredible, unique destiny against the carefully filtered illusions of other people. What you see online is not the full story. You see their harvest, but you do not see their private battles. You do not see their silent tears, their massive debts, or their hidden anxieties. I am asking you to stop torturing yourself by staring at a race you were never meant to run. Your path is entirely different because your calling is entirely different. You feel deeply frustrated by the delays in your life. You have prayed for the financial breakthrough, the right relationship, and the open door. But year after year, it feels like nothing is changing. I want to reveal the truth about your waiting season right now. The delay you are experiencing is not a denial. The delay is a divine preparation. Think about how a massive skyscraper is built. If you want to build a small, fragile shed, you can pour a shallow foundation in a single afternoon. But if you want to build a towering structure that can withstand violent hurricanes and massive earthquakes, you have to spend a massive amount of time digging deep into the dark dirt. For months, it looks like absolutely nothing is happening above the surface. People walking by only see a massive, messy hole in the ground. They might even think the project has been abandoned, but the master builders know that the depth of the foundation completely determines the absolute height of the building. Right now, you are in the digging phase. It feels dark. It feels messy. It feels like absolutely nothing is happening in your favor. But I am excavating the weak areas of your character. I am removing the toxic dependencies you have unknowingly held onto. I am building a massive spiritual and emotional foundation inside of you, because the blessing I am preparing to give you is incredibly heavy. If I had given you the massive success, the financial overflow, or that specific relationship 5 years ago, it would have completely crushed you. You did not have the wisdom or the spiritual maturity to sustain it. I loved you too much to let you be destroyed by a premature blessing. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 22, I made a promise that you need to claim over your life today. I said that when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Notice that I did not say when you are perfectly ready, or when your society says it is time. I operate on a divine timeline that sees the end from the very beginning. I know exactly when the economic conditions, the right people, and your own heart are perfectly aligned for the miracle to finally manifest. You need to release the heavy burden of the ticking clock today. Time is my creation. I exist entirely outside of time. I have the absolute power to restore the years that the locusts have eaten. I can do more for you, in one single second of divine favor, than you could ever accomplish in 20 years of exhausting, sleepless hustle. The anxiety of feeling behind is a heavy chain the enemy uses to keep you paralyzed. He wants you to stay in this bitter state of mind. He wants you to become cynical. He wants you to believe that faith is a waste of time and that your prayers are just bouncing off a brass ceiling. But the truth is, I have heard every single whisper. I have collected every single tear. I am breaking that chain of comparison off your mind right now. You are exactly where you need to be for the next chapter to unfold. But there is a requirement for this next beautiful chapter to begin. You are holding on to a massive weight of resentment, past disappointment, and the desperate need to control every single outcome. You are gripping these things so tightly that your spiritual hands are bleeding. In the next few moments, I am going to ask you to do something incredibly brave. I am going to walk you through a specific process of completely letting go. When you finally open your hands and release this massive burden to me, a supernatural shift is going to happen in the atmosphere of your room. The heavy pressure on your chest is going to permanently lift. Do not walk away from this moment, because the very next step we take together is where your profound physical and spiritual healing actually begins. I promise to walk you through the process of completely letting go. I want you to literally take a deep breath right now. Inhale slowly, and as you exhale, I want you to imagine opening your tightly clenched fists. You have been holding on to so much shame and guilt regarding your past decisions. You look back at the financial mistakes you made 5, 10, or even 15 years ago. You think about the failed business attempts, the credit card debt that piled up just to keep the lights on, or the relationships that ended in absolute heartbreak. You carry this massive, invisible ledger in your mind, constantly reminding yourself of where you messed up and how much time you wasted. You feel a deep, burning shame about starting over when you are 30, 40, or 50 years old. The culture around you constantly screams that starting over is a massive failure. You are taught from a very young age that you must be entirely self-made, that you have to pull yourself up by your own strength. So when you hit a wall you cannot climb over, you feel completely worthless. You carry a silent embarrassment. You do not tell your friends how bad it really is. You do not tell your family how close you are to losing everything. You just smile and say you are working on a new plan. But inside, you are absolutely crushed by the weight of your own perceived failures. My child, in my kingdom, starting over is not a failure. Starting over is called a resurrection. I am not holding your past against you. You are the only one who is still keeping score. The heavy burden I am asking you to drop right now is the burden of unforgiveness. Specifically, the absolute inability to forgive yourself. The burden of unforgiveness toward yourself is a heavy stone around your neck. You constantly replay old conversations in your head, wishing you had said something different. You replay old financial choices, wishing you had not trusted that specific person. But you cannot heal a wound by constantly tearing it open. I have already washed your mistakes away. The moment you asked for my grace, I threw your failures into the deepest part of the ocean. So why do you keep diving back into the dark water to retrieve them? It is time to let it all go. Stop punishing yourself for not knowing back then what you know right now. The version of you that made those desperate decisions was simply doing the best they could with the broken pieces they had at the time. I have completely forgiven that version of you, and it is time for you to do the exact same thing. I told the prophet Jeremiah a long time ago in chapter 29 verse 11, and I am telling you directly today, that I know the exact plans I have for you. They are plans for your absolute peace, and not for your disaster. Plans to give you a beautiful future and a profound hope. But you cannot step into this beautiful future if you are dragging the dead weight of your past along with you. I am doing a completely new thing in your life right now. Can you not feel it? Even as you listen to my voice right now, there is a subtle shift happening in your chest. The heavy, suffocating pressure is beginning to lift. That is the literal presence of my Holy Spirit, moving into the empty spaces of your heart. You are finally surrendering the pen, and you are letting me write the next chapter. From this exact second forward, you do not have to figure out how the money is going to come. You do not have to orchestrate the perfect timeline for your career, your housing, or your family. Your only job is to stay close to me, to walk in blind obedience, and to radically trust that I am working everything out for your ultimate good. I am taking over the heavy lifting today. I am stepping in to fight the battles you are simply too exhausted to fight anymore. I am going to deal with the people who have wronged you, and I am going to open the divine doors that no human being could ever shut. You are standing on the very edge of a massive spiritual reset, but we need to secure this new foundation. When you wake up tomorrow morning, the enemy is going to try to hand you back the exact same heavy baggage you just dropped today. He is going to try to whisper the same financial panic and the same deep loneliness into your ear before you even get out of bed. But I am not going to let him win. In the next few moments, I am going to equip you with a specific set of spiritual weapons. I am going to give you a series of powerful declarations. You must let these words sink deep into your soul, because they will be your absolute shield against every single lie the enemy tries to tell you tomorrow. Do not leave, because your spiritual armor is about to be fully upgraded. I told you I was going to give you specific spiritual weapons. When your alarm clock goes off tomorrow morning, before you even reach for your phone to check your messages, before you look at the news or open a single social media application, the familiar wave of dread is going to try to wash over you. The enemy is going to try to remind you of the mortgage payment, the rising cost of groceries, and the massive stack of responsibilities waiting for you at your job. But tomorrow is going to be entirely different. Tomorrow, you are not going to wake up as a victim of your circumstances. You are going to wake up as a warrior who is fully equipped for the day. I want you to let these specific affirmations sink so deeply into your spirit that they become your automatic response to every single fear. Listen to my voice, and let these truths rewrite the broken narrative in your head. I am a beloved child of the Most High God. I am entirely forgiven for the financial and relational mistakes of my past. My worth is not tied to my productivity, my job title, or my credit score. I am deeply and unconditionally loved on my most exhausted days. My future is not dictated by the stock market or the current economy. It is completely secured by the Creator of the universe. I am fiercely protected from the toxic environments and the manipulative people that try to drain my daily peace. Do you feel the physical relief in your chest as you hear those words? That is not just modern psychology or temporary positive thinking. That is literal spiritual warfare. You have spent decades repeating the lies of the enemy over your own life. You have looked in the mirror and called yourself inadequate. You have looked at your living situation and called yourself a failure. You have looked at your relationship status and called yourself entirely unlovable. We are breaking those dark, heavy chains with the power of the spoken word right now. I want you to adopt these declarations as your daily armor, even if you have to whisper them quietly in the break room at your office, or mutter them under your breath while you are stuck in gridlocked traffic on the highway. You must declare them. I am standing on a firm, unshakable foundation. The chaotic storms of the American hustle culture might shake the branches of my life, but my roots are planted deeply in divine grace. The specific provision I need for my family will flow at the exact right time. The physical and emotional healing my body desperately needs is already actively in motion. The massive door that needs to open for my career is being unlocked by heavenly forces right now. I see how incredibly hard you are trying to hold everything together. I see the invisible battles you fight in your mind while you are sitting in endless morning traffic. The people in the cars next to you just see a normal person staring blankly ahead, but I see a tired warrior who is desperately looking for a safe harbor to rest. You do not have to fight the traffic, the corporate ladder, and the spiritual warfare all by yourself. Every single time you declare these divine truths over your life, you are building an invisible, impenetrable fortress around your mind. When you walk into that building tomorrow, the colleague who constantly undermines you will not have the power to ruin your day anymore. The unexpected medical bill that shows up in the mail will not cause you to spiral into a severe panic attack. The fear of being laid off will not paralyze your creativity. Why? Because you finally understand exactly who is backing you up. You are fully backed by the kingdom of heaven. I am releasing a supernatural, quiet confidence into your weary spirit right now. You do not have to loudly prove anything to anyone anymore. You do not have to exhaust yourself trying to impress people who do not even care about the health of your soul. Keep repeating these powerful truths until they become significantly louder than your deepest insecurities. I am divinely chosen. I am fully equipped for the heavy, complicated challenges of today. I have the supernatural wisdom to navigate impossible situations at work and at home. I possess a profound, unshakable peace that makes absolutely no logical sense to the anxious world around me. I am never, ever walking through this dark valley alone. Do you feel that massive shift? These simple, powerful words have completely changed the spiritual atmosphere in your room. The heavy, suffocating presence of fear and anxiety has been forcibly pushed out by the light of my truth. But please do not turn this off and leave just yet. We have cleared out the darkness, but now I need to permanently seal this incredible peace over your mind, your heart, and your physical body. In the next few moments, I am going to pray a very specific, incredibly powerful prayer of blessing directly over you. This final prayer is going to completely change the way you sleep tonight, and it will radically alter the way you step into tomorrow. Stay right here with me, because the final, most important piece of your healing is about to happen right now. I told you that the final and most important piece of your healing is about to happen right now. I want you to physically stop whatever you are doing. If you are driving on the highway, keep your hands safely on the wheel, but let your anxious heart become completely still. If you are sitting on your living room couch or lying in your bed in the dark, I want you to close your eyes. You have carried the heavy, crushing weight of the world for far too long. You have been running a relentless, exhausting race that has completely drained every single ounce of your energy. But right now, in this sacred, quiet moment, you are officially off the clock. The heavy demands of your corporate job, the massive pressure of your financial obligations, and the completely unrealistic expectations of the people around you have absolutely no power in this space. This is your safe harbor. I am wrapping my arms of profound, unbreakable peace entirely around you. I am speaking a massive, divine blessing over your mind right now. For months, your mind has been a chaotic, exhausting battlefield of endless worries. You have suffered from the heavy burden of constant overthinking. You lie awake at night calculating worst-case scenarios that have not even happened yet. I command that dark storm of anxiety to permanently stop right now in the mighty name of Jesus. I am replacing your silent panic with a deep, supernatural stillness. When you lay your heavy head on your pillow tonight, you will not toss and turn. You will not wake up at 3 in the morning with a racing heart and a tight chest. I am giving you the beautiful, restorative gift of deep sleep. Your physical body is entirely exhausted from carrying the heavy burden of survival mode, and I am actively healing your fragile nervous system exactly as you listen to my voice. I am speaking a profound blessing over your household and your finances today. I know exactly how much you have been quietly stressing over the rising cost of groceries, the endless utility bills, and the massive weight of inflation. I know the exact numbers on those envelopes sitting on your kitchen counter. You look at your fixed income and you look at your growing expenses, and you feel entirely overwhelmed and completely defeated. But I am Jehovah Jireh, your absolute provider. I am commanding supernatural favor over your resources. I am opening unexpected doors of financial blessing that no human being, no corporate manager, and no economic downturn can ever shut. The exact financial provision you desperately need will arrive at the exact right time. You do not need to manipulate the situation, and you do not need to lose your daily peace trying to forcefully kick down doors that are locked. I am already working behind the scenes on your absolute behalf. I am orchestrating conversations in rooms you have not even entered, and I am perfectly aligning the right people to massively bless your life. I am setting you entirely free from the toxic trap of the modern hustle culture. You live in a society that constantly measures your human worth by your bank account balance, your zip code, and your professional job title. You have spent so many years running on the exhausting treadmill of the American dream, desperately trying to prove to everyone else that you are successful. You have completely sacrificed your own mental peace to build a fragile kingdom made of sand. I do not care about your impressive resume. I do not care about the past mistakes on your credit report. I care about your beautiful, tired, fragile heart. You do not have to perform for me. You do not have to put on a brave, fake smile and pretend that you are strong when you are actually falling apart inside. I love the messy, tired, broken version of you just as much as the successful version of you. I am entirely replacing your heavy spirit of striving with a beautiful spirit of resting. Tomorrow is going to be a completely different day. When the early morning sun rises, you are not going to wake up dreading the massive list of responsibilities waiting for you. You are going to wake up with a quiet, powerful, unshakable confidence. When you walk into your workplace or log into your virtual meetings, you will carry a supernatural peace that completely shifts the entire atmosphere of the room. When the enemy tries to throw a sudden inconvenience or a heavy frustration your way, it will absolutely not shake you. You will remember the exact words we spoke together today. You will remember that you are fully backed by the eternal creator of the universe. You are entirely protected by a divine, invisible shield, and absolutely no weapon formed against you will ever prosper. I want you to take one more deep, slow breath right now. Inhale my infinite grace, and completely exhale every single piece of lingering doubt. You are safe. Your family is safe. Your health is being restored. Your future is completely and totally secure in my hands. You can finally stop fighting this exhausting battle. You can finally rest. If you truly receive this profound peace today, if you are finally ready to permanently lay down your heavy burdens and let me take full control of your story, I want you to boldly declare it. Type the word Amen in the comments below as a physical, tangible sign of your complete spiritual surrender. Let that simple, powerful word be the final seal on the beautiful healing that just took place in your weary heart today. And please, share this exact message with that specific person I just brought to your mind right now. They are silently drowning in the exact same exhaustion you were, and they desperately need this exact lifeline today. Do not keep this massive divine peace all to yourself. Be the incredible, loving vessel of hope that I carefully created you to be. Now, close your tired eyes, rest your weary head, and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am fiercely watching over you. The heavy, painful season of waiting is officially ending. The beautiful, joyful season of abundant harvest is beginning. Sleep in absolute, perfect peace, my beloved child. I love you more than you could ever possibly comprehend.